Are you guys aware of how many hazards you guys are around day to day? Well, there's an enormous variety of hazards around you day to day, from potholes on the ground to chemicals in the air. One of the most interesting hazards, in my opinion, is asbestos. Asbestos is a heat-resistant fibrous silicate mineral that can be woven into fabrics and is used as a fire-resistant insulating materials. Yeah, this topic may interest some of you because you have always wondered why the ceiling of your roof is like rock material and weird texture. Although there's a variety of forms of asbestos, dealing and removing popcorn ceiling is the most satisfying to remove. Some different forms of asbestos are these two. This is your AC lines that are wrapped in asbestos paper. So when you turn on your AC to the highest, you get some of these fibers into your home and you breathe them in. As well as this is black mastic. This is found under the carpet here in your home, under ceramic tile or even wood tile. According to the website familyhandyman.com, any popcorn ceiling installed before the 1980s might contain asbestos. Now, I do recommend you go get your popcorn ceiling tested to verify if it's asbestos free or not. The ceiling will look something like this. If it's popcorn ceiling, you have this rough image where it's like kind of a rocky texture, and then this one that is more of panels like this, as you can see right here. Now, before you go removing this, I do recommend you go get it tested to see if it's asbestos. If it's asbestos, if it has asbestos, then you have to hire someone that is asbestos certified to remove it. And if it comes back negative with no asbestos, you can remove it yourself. Today I will briefly inform you about what asbestos popcorn ceiling is, but mainly focus on 3 steps on how to remove asbestos popcorn ceiling, starting with the preparation, moving on to removing the actual popcorn, and lastly cleaning up. First off, prep the area you're going to be working in. I do recommend get plastic sheeting to put on the walls. You want to line up the plastic sheeting on the walls to the very edge of the ceiling and the walls. As you can see right here, is at the very top of the edge of the walls, just so it can get full coverage and nothing gets contaminated in the room. Put sheeting on the plastic on the floor. If you have any furniture in the area that you cannot remove, cover that as well. Now, moving on to removing the popcorn. It's easier to remove when you wet it with warm water. If you missed it a little bit with warm water and then go ahead and try to test it to see if it's rough or not, you'll notice that if it's rough, you're gonna break your back eventually trying to scrape it off because it is hard. But if you mixed it with warm water, it will soften up enough to where you can glide your scraper through the whole ceiling. Once you remove the whole area, I do always tell my workers and my co-workers and all that, if you prep correctly in the beginning, the cleanup is going to be the easiest step. If you prep for an hour, your cleanup is going to be 15 minutes. The more you prep and seal the area completely and it's completely sealed, everything will fall into the plastic sheeting. You'll be able to wrap everything up, tear down the plastic, wrap it all in a ball and put it in a bag, and your job is done. Now, if you decide not to seal everything perfectly and leave things open and not, you're gonna have to go back to vacuum or sweep, like you can see right here. This guy didn't want to listen to me and not put plastic, and he had to go back and vacuum everything more than 2 times. Today I informed you a bit about the numerous hazards there are around you. Also, I provided you with a brief explanation of what asbestos is specifically. And then I guided you through a 3-step process of removing the popcorn, which is prepping, secondly removing, and then lastly cleanup.